How are you feeling today, Ron?
A bit tired this morning.
Oh, go back to bed for a couple of hours then.
I can't. I got the hospital appointment this morning.
Oh.
Check up.
Blimey.
You'll be home tonight.
Doubt it very much. But hello, Deb.
I woke Debbie up.
Got a long run and bad tip.
You
So
got
I
enough
doubt
money
it.
for digs?
I could do with a quid.
What have you done with your money then?
Well, it's the second night out. Soon goes, doesn't it?
Oh.
I like to get weed in. Okay then?
Lovely.
Give Dad a kiss. See you then, Rob.
I'll see you till tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow night, yeah. Be back early, I should think. Okay?
Peter Kearney is a lorry driver, one of thousands who get up before dawn for a day on the road. A quick goodbye to his family before he settles down behind the wheel of a huge articulated truck to take a load of mining equipment down to the docks at Newport, Monmouthshire. A cup of tea is all he needs before he leaves home. His first big meal of the day will be taken in a transport cafe. For every lorry driver, the transport cafe is an important part of life. It provides him with food, company, gossip, a home from home. It's traditional. In this one, just off the M5, bacon and sausages are ordered by the hundredweight, eggs by the gross, and tea drunk by the gallon. Hello, Auntie Dolly.
Hello, Sue.
Oh, those are just about ready, are they?
Yes, those are ready. Then we drain them well, you see. Let them drain well. Take them over into there. Convenience, you see.
You don't like them too fatty then, the sausages?
No, they like them drained. Then if they want them well done, you see, we'll put 2 or 3 in a frying pan and finish them off like that.
So you wouldn't think I was a damn nuisance if I came in and wanted an extra well-done sausage?
No, it's the same as the bacon. We have chappies come in and ask for, well-done bacon, which we do that, you see. Some of them want it all crimped up, you see. So like their eggs turned over or something like this.
What are the sort of things do they
Well, they're
fancy?
always right. Customer's always right, you know.
How long have you worked here, Auntie Dolly?
Nearly 16 years.
And are they eating anything different now to what they ate?
More.
Just more of it?
More.
George, you're the head chef. Before you go and start cooking something else, how long have you been in the Transport Cafe?
18 years.
You a good chef?
I wouldn't say that, no.
Because you didn't start out as a chef, did you? Where did you
No.
learn to cook?
I just learnt myself all
Really?
that I know, yes.
What makes a good breakfast as far as you're concerned?
Well, I think nicely prepared bacon, nice fried slice, fried and not just dipped, and eggs.
Lorry drivers have huge appetites, and just before 7 a.m. business is really booming. Every helping hand, however inexperienced, is welcome. Bob and Pete, isn't it?
That's it, yeah.
Where have you come down from today?
Stoke-on-Trent.
What you doing?
We're going down to Bristol and Cornwall.
Does that mean you're going to be away for a while?
I'll be away till Wednesday night.
He will, yeah. I should probably be home tonight with a bit of luck.
Better look, you don't like being away then?
Oh, it doesn't bother me. No, I'll get used to it. Enjoy it.
You enjoy it?
Yes.
What would your wife think about it?
Oh, well, what she thinks is unprintable. She's not at all happy about it.
Why do you like it so much then, being on the road, staying
Well,
away?
it's a way of life. It's a job I've always done, and that's it. You get it in your blood. You know, you get out with a good crowd. If you're on a regular run, you're always in regular digs. You know everybody. You have a good night out with the lads.
Do you get up to some fun and games, some antics when you're out on the road?
Jesus, not
some
much.
fun, yeah.
This is the kid. Midnight swimming.
Yeah.
Midnight swimming?
Oh, yeah. Off the end of Southend P&B. Straight down, right. Cut all my arm and all sorts of... Mind you, I'd had some ale, you know.
That's the
They're under the weather,
understatement.
weren't they?
Phew, not much.
Aye. Good job I started swimming the right way, else I'd have been going now, I would.
Do you think that lorry drivers are different from other people?
Oh, I think so. You're one on your own. It's a peculiar job, really. I mean, you sort of get out on the road. You're entirely on your own. You know, it's up to you to get the job done. You've got nobody behind you to tell you where you're going wrong or what you're doing wrong. You know, you sort of get up the back of a country lane in a farmyard and you think, well, bloody hell, what have I done wrong here? You can't turn around and ask anybody. You've got to get out of it yourself
Do it on
and
your
find
own,
where
you
you've
know.
gone wrong.
When you get behind the wheel in the cab of the lorry, does it change your personality? Do you think you're a superior person?
No, I wouldn't say superior. It does alter you, I suppose. I mean, you act in a different way, really, when you're at work driving a lorry than you do normally. So if you were driving your own car, you wouldn't do half the things that you do in a lorry, like. I don't know whether you understand what I mean. Your personality changes up to the point.
What do you think? Do you think you get more aggressive?
Well, you do in some cases when you get some of these car drivers do silly things on you, but I don't know. As I say, you become a person on your own. You're sort of different
That is
to
the
90%
difference,
of
isn't
the
it?
others on the road. You and another lorry driver are the same. But as far as the cars go, you're sort of not one of them. You know, you don't want to know about it. This sort of thing. When you get back in your own car, you know, you appreciate a lorry driver's problems when you're following him. This sort of thing.
Yeah. And how about your breakfast? Does that look okay?
Oh, grand, yes.
Lovely. Well, I hope you have a good journey. I'll leave you to get on with
Yes,
it.
thank you.
Did you always have the same thing for breakfast?
More or less, you know, within reason. You know, something light and easy to get down in a way.
You call that big bacon sandwich something light and easy?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Have you ever done anything else apart from drive a lorry?
Oh, yes, a butcher.
What made you change from that?
Well, it's better money driving, that's for one thing. Although it isn't very good, it is better money than butchering. And then again, you're not stuck inside all day, you know, you're out meeting different people.
How about you? Where did you get that hat? Where did you get that from?
Present from the girlfriend. Comes from Longton in Staffordshire.
Is that where you're from today, Longton?
Well, Stoke, near enough Longton.
Where are you going to?
A place called Pontardalis, South Wales.
Does that mean you're going to be staying away overnight?
Playing my cards right now.
You don't like the idea of being away from home?
Well, I don't mind being away because it makes you appreciate home more. When you've been out for a couple of nights and probably roughed you to around a bad trip, when you get home, it's nice to put your feet up and just relax.
Good breakfast, Peter?
Well, it's quite nice actually.
What do you have?
Bacon, beans, egg, fried bread, bit of toast.
You're away for the night tonight?
Yeah.
How many nights a week do you spend away?
On average 2 to 3.
2 or 3. How does the family feel about that?
I think they're getting more or less hardened into it now.
What do you feel about it?
I don't mind now. Just take it one of them things, you know, part of the job.
Part of the job?
Right, I think
Yeah, no, all right. Have you, I'm really looking forward to going out to this lorry. Is it much of a different sensation to driving in a car?
you'll find out now, you tell me.
Breakfast takes about 20 minutes. Then it's goodbye to the hot, crowded cafe and back to the loneliness of the cab. Except that this time, Peter has me for a passenger to find out just what happens through the lorry driver's day. From high up in the cab, the world seems a different place, a totally different view of the road than from a car. There seems acres of room in the cab, and the noise once we climb out of the low gears is very subdued. Peter, what sort of regulations are there driving a lorry like this?
Well, you got this logbook, which every lorry driver has to fill in. You fill it in first thing in the morning when you're leaving, and again you fill it in at your destination when you're dropping your goods off, and then you put your meal breaks in, and again in the evening where you're parking up for the night, you fill in what time.
Is it much of a fiddle?
Oh, they can catch you out, mind, because you don't know where the ministry are these days. They do these invisible checks.
Oh.
You might be going down the road, and ministry bloke, you won't know him. He's sitting in a car. He'll take your number. About a month later, then ask the transport manager to have a look at your log sheet, and then they check up, make sure you was in that where you stated on your sheet, or travelling between the 2 points.
What happens if you weren't?
Well, they can fine you, take you to court, and the boss and all.
Really?
Yeah.
Life on the road with all those rules and regulations and checks, is it really as free as the lorry drivers think it is?
Oh, I suppose there's still a certain amount of freedom. I mean, you don't... I've never been stopped. I've never been checked in by the ministry yet, you know. They've stopped me like to have a look at the log sheet and that, but I've never had one of these invisible checks yet, you know.
One rule and regulation that I notice you don't have, there's no seatbelts in this, are there?
No, queer that. I don't know as we'd use them if they were fitted.
You don't think you'd wear one?
Nah, don't think so.
What did you do before you were a lorry driver?
I used to be in the Merchant Navy.
Where'd you go?
Oh, Australia, States, Europe and North Africa and them sort of places.
Why'd you give it up?
Well, settling down. After I get married and that, you know, you still, once you've been in the Merchant Navy and that, you still got a bit of a job to settle down, haven't you? Like I took this job, so it's still sort of moving about a bit.
Are there many problems and things that a lorry driver has to do you think, that the ordinary person doesn't appreciate, that you don't think about?
Well, I reckon a lot of people think you're just sitting and you just got to drive them, but there's a lot more to it than that. You know, for a start, you got your loader fixer, your rope up, or this lot on here, got chains on here, roping and sheeting. Some of these places they expect you to get into, you've got to make sure you can get in there and get out again, turning around the motor and that. Look out, you know, you're going to get bogged down in any mud and that. And then finding the places, sorting out your digs where you're going to stay tonight. And, you know, fuel and then maybe get a puncture or, you know, all them sort of jobs. A lot of people don't sort of appreciate there's more to it than that. Filling your log sheet in, I mean, you need a secretary, I reckon, of the paperwork you're getting now.
Doesn't look as though it worries you an awful lot, though.
Okay. Don't bother about it too much.
Have you ever seen anything fall off the back of a lorry?
What, stuff like laying in the road? Oh, I remember when I was on nights one night, I was following this poultry wagon along. They had these cages with all these chickens in. Now he's getting along, going along the road, all of a sudden a couple of them flew out. The cages sort of must have jumped up, open over a bump. Anyway, the old chickens landed in the road. I pulls up, and they didn't seem to know where they were going. They just stood there because they've been in the battery chickens all their life. Anyway, picked them up, put them in a cab, took them home.
Ate them?
I heard a story about one of my mates. He was going along during the night and come across some piglets running around the road. I don't know where they come. Must have come out of some farm somewhere. Anyway, he got a sack out. He had a sack in the cab. Put the piglets in the sack. Took them all the way out to Burnham with him. Had them squealing away. Took them home. I suppose he flogged them to some farmer.
It's a bit of an adventure, isn't it, life on the road?
Oh yeah, you never know what's going to happen. You know, there's always something happening. We're getting the caps and that here. These different stories of other drivers and that.
Nearly 5 hours later, and it's time to look for another transport cafe for lunch. The trick seems to be to pick one with a lot of lorries outside it. Dozens of customers can't all be wrong. Morning, what's for lunch today?
Oh, we've got roast beef, stewed steak, usual chip meals, anything on toast, sandwiches.
You're rather known for your stewed steak, aren't you? I think we'll order 2 stewed steak dinners.
Right.
2 steak dinners, please.
You're quite famous for your roast beef as well, aren't you?
Well, we are, yes. Egan Ronay liked it.
Why do you think you liked it so much? What do you do to
Well, I
it to
generally
make
try and get the best cut, so I'd rather give the chaps a smaller portion of good stuff than I would, you know, a lot of second-quality stuff.
How long have you been in transport cafes?
14 years next month.
In this same one?
Yes, same place, yes.
Has it changed much?
Well, I don't think the actual drivers have changed much. They just go a bit faster and a bit farther.
So they don't stop here so much? They're not such
Well, you
regular...
don't see your regulars as often as you used to do, but you still see them, you know.
They still pop by?
Oh, yes, yes.
How much for a dinner these days?
Well,
What do they
average
spend?
40, 50 pence.
Really? They get an allowance for that, do they? Or does that come out of their own pocket?
Oh, no, most drivers get a subsistence.
Yeah, that looks like ours then.
Yes.
Super, thanks very
I'll
much
pour your
indeed.
tea
And
for
2
you.
teas, yeah. Okay, Peter, there you are.
Oh, lovely.
Hot plate. What does that look like to you then, as a gourmet, transport cafe gourmet?
Well, getting on that way, you know.
Okay. How long do you reckon we've got to go now?
About another 2 hours on the train.
Oh, it's not so long sitting in that cab.
Yeah, 2 there.
Where have you come down from today?
Mansfield.
How long's it taken you? How long have you been on the road?
Around about 3 hours. getting load on and off, like
What are you carrying? What is your load?
soft drinks, squashes, lemonade, stuff like that.
Where are you taking them to?
I've just been to Cannock.
Oh, so it's just down here, turn around and go back
Turn
again?
around, go back with empties on you.
Yeah. Do you ever think of stopping anywhere else but a transport cab?
No, not really, not really.
What do you think of the dinner? Is it okay?
Very good, eh?
Really?
Better than sandwiches.
Do you ever not stop in a transport cab? I mean, would you ever dream of going in a hotel or a restaurant?
Oh, no, not really. Not really.
Why not?
Well, they usually just look at you, and they don't really serve you sometimes.
What makes a good transport cafe then? What do you look for?
Friendly atmosphere, a nice warm place, a nice meal. Good meal.
This particular cafe here, you look at the plate in front of you. It's well stashed with food. If you can't count the chips and you can't count the carrots, there's plenty of food on there, and it's good quality food, and it's filling. You know, I mean, for the price of the food that you're getting, it's fair compared with other places. Lots of people call here. They're all friendly. The food's good. You don't have to wait too long. You can sit down. You've ordered your meal, and within a couple of minutes you've got it. And that's the main thing, you know. It's a square meal. The price is right.
Back on the road, with all this food, I don't know how a lorry driver could hope to keep slim. Peter, what is that load that we've got on the back?
This is a load of roof supports for going out to China. So, put them down, eventually ending up down a coal mine.
How heavy are they?
6 ton a piece.
How about the lorry itself? How much fuel does it hold?
Oh, the tank, this has got 2 40-gallon tanks on it, 80 gallon altogether.
How many miles do we do to the gallon?
7 or 8.
God.
Well, now hard you put your boot down.
How hard do you put your boot down? What's the comfortable speed on the motorway for you?
With these on, I should say 45, 50.
Do you ever get aware of the fact that there's someone behind you getting mad because they can't get past you?
Oh, you do. You can see them, you know, especially if you're going, you know, off the motorway, like you can see them, especially calling through some, you know, say some town, Newport, say for instance, and you're going down there just as they're all going to work, they're all up behind you, trying to get by, you know. And you can see them, you know, doing their blobs like. I just say to myself, let them bloody wait.
Is there anything that makes you really cross on the road?
Oh yeah, sometimes you get these going down a pretty quiet road and all of a sudden you get some old deer pull out in front of you. And they see you coming along and they pull out in front of you, doing about 35 mile an hour. And that's it, and they don't shift themselves, they won't let you get by either. That's it, that's what gets me going, I'll tell you.
Do you think that motorists don't understand the problems you've got driving a thing like this?
Yeah, well, I suppose they don't realise that you're going along with a bit of weight on you, behind you. And you get somebody pull out all of a sudden, they don't realise you've got to drop down and you lose your revs and that, and then you've got to start building up again.
We've travelled through the industrial Midlands and past some of England's prettiest scenery. Now the landscape changes. Cranes, seagulls, ships, Newport docks. It's here Peter says goodbye to the load. Hard to imagine that in a few months these pieces of metal will be hundreds of feet below ground in China. In some docks the drivers complain about the time they have to wait to unload. Newport has a reputation for a quick turnaround. It's a confusing scene. The quayside is packed with ships being loaded. But for Peter, it's a familiar job. He knows just where to go. The dockers and Peter get the chains on the load to swing it aboard. The dockmaster supervises.
Is
Is that really as difficult as it looks, that crane driver's job?
Well, it's a job I wouldn't like.
Why not?
The height puts you on to start with, you know?
What happens to you?
I get a bit wheezy. It's a good height up there.
You get a lot of lorry drivers down here.
Quite a few, yeah, it's mostly road transport.
Well, what is your job then? You connect them with the ship.
Well, I just make sure the dockers do their job and it's done correctly.
What do you think of the lorry drivers as a bunch?
They're pretty good down here. There's a lot of abuse of, well, some of them, you know.
Because there's a lot of criticism from the lorry drivers to the dockers, isn't there?
Not so much on this port. Other ports maybe, but I don't think so on Newport.
What makes Newport so different?
A quick turnaround.
What would we expect, say, if we'd taken this load up to London or Liverpool?
Well, you hear that they're up there 2 or 3 days at a time, you know.
2 or 3 days?
The drivers, yeah.
And how long do you keep them waiting here?
Well, I'd say the average on Newport dock is about an hour. And they're away.
One stage further in its journey, the load leaves Newport for a place called Sing Kang, which I'm told means Newport in Chinese.
Right up, Peter.
By now it's too late in the day for Peter to consider going home. He'll be staying away tonight, like many other lorry drivers. Which part of Scotland are you from?
I'm from Glasgow.
Glasgow. There's another Scotsman over there. Which bit are you from?
Faith.
This is a real place for Scottish people, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you all stick together?
No, again. I don't think we can get rid of them, really, you know. I love the place, aren't they?
You love the place? Why do you all stop here?
Nice old bar, nice and clean, you know.
They say there are stories on the road that would make my hair stand on end. I haven't heard one yet. Have you got one?
I can't see you're lady. I can't see it.
How about you? Do you know any stories to make my hair stand on end, Peter?
Yeah, well, I suppose so, but you know what I mean? I'm going to put them over here, you know, people, Mrs. are here all about this and that, you know.
I never knew the lorry drivers were shy before now.
Right?
What sort of things do the lorry drivers get up to when they're away from home, then?
No, that's a dollar question, isn't it? Well, I'm afraid you need to pay more than $1 to get out of this.
Bridgewater.
Bridgewater, I was down at Exeter.
Were you?
Yeah, this morning.
Oh, yeah. Where have you been today?
Because it all depends on the weather. You know, we get a lot of mud, they can't play in mud. I don't think any team can through.
Really been the weather. They want to come to Ibrox, Balshire, a good team. You don't worry about the weather up there.
Not all supporters. Not all supporters up there.
70,000 good supporters up there. Everybody's sat up there.
I don't know how the white
Look, hey, I think it did.
Far from home, It's an environment Peter's wife can only imagine. For her, it's another night alone. But he'll be back tomorrow.